Hello and welcome to Q Sports. I am Umudu Gajaga and thank you very much for joining us. Coming up on tonight's show, we have something very exciting for you. And that's beach volleyball, not football, not judo, not athletics. The Gambia are champions for the first time at a senior sports competition level. That is, at the continental level to be precise. They've won the gold medal in the beach volleyball. And we will bring you more details about that. And how about this? Brikama United, hopes of progress in the CAF Champions League preliminary stages have been dented a big blow by Raja Casablanca as they meet in the return leg in Casablanca. We will tell you how the match shaped up. And also, the Q City Football Academy is currently in its second week. We will bring you more details about how it is shaping up. Plus, a roundup of African sports on Q Sports. This and many more to come on tonight's edition. Stay tuned. Welcome to the show, and we are excited that we are going to start on tonight's show with beach volleyball, because the Gambia's beach volleyball team are rejoicing after bringing back home the gold medal after beating the host Morocco in a fierce final. But before beating Morocco, countries like Mozambique were also knocked out by the Gambia. One among them also is Tunisia and Algeria as they reach to the final to win their gold medal. This is the Gambia's first gold medal at a senior sports competition. They reached the quarterfinals of the African Youth Games in Algeria in 2018, boosted them up to 7th and 8th place for the men and the women respectively in the continental rankings. Football may claim to be the most popular sport in the country, but it's volleyball that brought the biggest success in sporting history of this country. For more on this and other progress that the Gambia made at the African Games in Rabat, Morocco, let's join our reporter Babu Garci.
So far, I will say this is a very successful African Games for the Gambia, because whatever the case might be, Gambia is on the medal table. The last time I checked the medal table, we are number 17 on the medal table out of 51 countries that are currently participating. For the fact that we have won gold in beach volleyball, beating Morocco, the host, 2-1 last week here in Rabat. And of course, you know, for the first time also we have registered 5 sports that comprises of 21 athletes. So that tells you, you know, the country is ready, you know, to participate and is ready to send athletes to high competitions. You know, and then athletics also, you know, they started last night, and then so far we have registered successes because Gina Baz and Ibrahima Kamara are in the finals of the 100 meters. So I believe this will tell the government and then the stakeholders in the Gambia that it's high time we send, you know, our athletes to competition to compete, so that at least, you know, the flag of the Gambia could be on the world map as far as sport is concerned.
Well, away from athletics, let's talk about basketball 3-on-3. I understand the female side also did great in their first encounter. How far have they gone as far as reaching the semis or finals concerned?
Yes, you're right. The Gambia registered women national team on 3-on-3 for the African Games. And, you know, our participation was not bad because they went up to the quarterfinals. And it was not a bad quarterfinals for them. We are in a group that consists of Nigeria, the eventual champions, and of course Niger, one of the top countries in Africa as far as 3-on-3 is concerned. And we managed a victory against Niger 7-8, and then we lost to Nigeria 21-9. And then the day we lost to Nigeria, we also had an injury because Hawa Jawara sustained an ankle injury, so the tournament was over for her. Then we managed to get to the quarterfinals as best losers and then when we get to the quarterfinals, we met Congo Kinshasa, the eventual bronze medalist. We lost to Congo Kinshasa 21-7. So basically, that was how far basketball has gone. They are already back in the country last night, but again, you will see the confirmation of their participation came at the 11th hour before the competition starts in Morocco. So they were just in camp for only 3 days prior to their arrival. So that also affected, their level of preparedness to come on board, to showcase at the highest level.
And finally, MLSK, from athletics to basketball, swimming. They are also among the last batch that left the Gambia. How far have they gone in also trying to bring glory back to the Gambia, knowing that we also have some of the finest swimmers that represented us in the 12th edition of the African Games?
As you said, finally, swimming also, we came with 2 athletes, Modula Amin and Ibrahim Soribuaro. But again, they could not make it to the next round. They all were booted out in the first round. They are even en route to Gambia tonight. They're supposed to leave yesterday, but they missed their flight, so they will come back home today to Gambia. It was not a very good outing for them. This is not the first time for the athletes going to swimming competition, but it's the first time their coach Alu Sangon going. So I believe he learned some of the setbacks, and I believe he will work on this because Olympic qualifiers is on the agenda. FINA World Championship is on the agenda. So I think the coach and then the athletes will redouble rather their training ship so that at least they can improve on their competition. Thank you.
And now to the CAF Champions League. Gambian clubs will have to wait for another year to have any chance of making a breakthrough into the group phase of the CAF Champions League. Brikama United had high expectations of sucking Raja Casablanca in their return leg after the first leg ended in a 3-all draw at the Independence Stadium. However, the North Africans were too strong for the Sate Bar boys as they beat the Gambian League champions by 4-0 and 7-3 on aggregate over the 2 legs. Now let's take a short break. When we come back, the show continues. Welcome back. 30 children are currently undergoing training at the Q City Football Academy summer camp at Q City. As they entered week 2, the Q City Football Academy aims to shape the talents of future footballers of this country. We spoke to Ibrahim Amane, sports manager of the Q City Football Training School.
Thank you so much. Yes, this is our second campaign. You were with us, you remember, in 2018. We gathered 26 kids for the summer camp. Basically, that summer camp was looking at, we were focused on the development stage of the players. It is for players to understand improving their efforts in training. And that allows us to teach the fundamentals of the game, and also it also helped us to bond the team together. 3 weeks was not enough, but it has given us a start to allow kids to get used to each other, recognize their own leader, and understand that individually each and everyone should put in maximum effort to gain from the camp, because it was like we worked like 7 hours out of 24 hours, right? So this year we camp, out of the 26, one of them went down to the development center because of, we have a policy of players' results commensurate with their performance in continuing participation for the academy. And one of the players did not do very well in his terminal exams. And because we don't want to encourage to think that it's only football, not education, so we set an example to drop him from the camp. And then we add 5 additional players that bring the total to 30. And all those players have submitted their terminal results, and we were very impressed with them. For the 2019 camp, it's different from the 2018. 2019 camp is to develop the competitive nature of the players' mentality, approaching games, and make sure they develop strong mentality in participating effectively when we are playing opponents. So that's why the program itinerary looks like on Monday, we train. We do training completely. But on Tuesday, we play among ourselves, then preparing teams for our opponents. And then Wednesday, we play with the development center. We have a category at the school under 15. They are trained by Alaj Ahmad Cham. So we train them to play against the academy, so that we look at our strengths and weaknesses and help it to reinforce it before a match on Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we play with outside academies. And so far, we played 6 games. And we've scored right about 28 goals. We have like 5 individual goals. And we have few set pieces goals, but mostly team play. That is very impressive. So that is the more reason we come this year, the competition phase. Right, it is. It's a holistic approach of human development, because parents entrusted their children to us to help them in that aspect. But we also plead with them to help kids to recognize that there's no only one way to success. And football is mostly associated with risk. You can succeed in football in a split of momentum, and then you can lose to participate or continue participation in the game through other means. So we want them to be equipped with 2 fundamental skills. That is, what the ability they are endowed with, that is to perform as players, but also to make sure that education will help them with their methodology with the world, how they relate to the world, how they relate to themselves. I've traveled with national team players. I found some of them found it difficult to fill boarding pass. So it is incumbent and really obligatory from us to make sure the challenges that we have faced in the past, to make sure we reinforce it and help the kids to overcome them in their development. So that's what we do. But what we also do, like we did last time around, I think between the last camp to this camp, we have had 2 foreign coaches. We have a Spanish coach who have the same mentality that the academy has, that is team play and ball play. And we have a Korean coach who integrate conditions and strength in all their training. So the players were opportunity to make sure they combine the physical attributes of their personality into the game. That's one of the reasons you haven't watched the recent games that we played. But we played a game among the test games that we have had. The team lost 4-1, but we played 43 minutes. We couldn't finish the 45 minutes because the players were experiencing some problems. And in the second half, in the 10 minutes of the second half, they were all falling, so they couldn't continue. So I had to discuss with the coach that we have to stop the match because they couldn't continue to meet the demands of the game. That shows us that the level of the players, both physically and determination in the game, has improved. And that's what we are looking for. And we have seen the determination with the players as a team, where when an individual among them made a mistake, they shout that some of them will make sure he doesn't lose the ball. Now they represent coaches in the field, whereby a coach will stand on the touchline to say, why do you lose the ball? But now we understand they themselves will correct and make sure those measures are taken on by their self. And also we want to be grateful to some of the coaches. Last year we had Ibu Jara, We have Siu Manja Moreno. We had Adama, the former the national team goalkeeper coach, who came to help and have sessions with the players. Again, we have this time around, we have Adama is back. We have goalkeeper training issue. Although we can do our best, but this is a specialized area, and we are grateful that Adama is still here to help our coach, our goalkeeper. He has conceded only 2 goals from 6 games, so that shows that he has tremendously improved. Even against the under-17, he did very well at the match that we played. But we are also grateful to T-Boy, the ex-national team captain, who had volunteered to help the players in certain aspects of their development. And today, too, both of us witnessed that he came with the gift of the strength of a mind, because it's important when the mind is settled, the brain is settled. Hopefully, you can achieve most of the goals that you set. That's what we want to get proper. In the field, I think we are doing extremely well. Out of the field, to prepare the players is something that we've been working on with the Chinese guy. Talk to them about the importance of team play, and came with exemplaries of players that were successful. For instance, Messi, there was a program they brought in Messi and Ronaldo, and they are trying to explain to the kids to understand why Messi is so a genius in Barcelona, but struggle with Argentina. And then they are trying to explain to the players to be a global player, that you can go to this team, you probably may not play well, but you can go to the other team and then you probably will play. But what we are expecting from them is to prepare them for international challenge. And those challenges differ, it's the diversity in that. That's why we encourage to bring in on board different coaches. Now, Kibo was talking to them about mostly his experience from Europe. That's one of the reasons we still haven't sent any of our players abroad, because we are looking for a club environment. We want a partnership with a club that has the capacity to help promote our players to the next level, whereby if we have 1 or 2 players who will go live for 1 month or 2 months campaign with the club, and they prepare him, when he comes back, the players, his peers here, will learn from him. He would be a changed person. Changed person in the sense he will be regular, and then he will start to advise his fellow players what he has learned, what he brought on board, and that will reinforce the previous advices and perspective that we share with the players. And this is how we want to prepare. We thought that it probably be difficult to get our player from the Gambian league to play straight into a proper league. But if we have a middle ground where the player can be prepared to go and play in Europe, that's what we are working on. Currently, we are looking at Greece, Olympiacos, but we still haven't got the things together, because there are certain things that the CEO is looking for. His main agenda is to make sure players benefit from whatever they do. It is the players first, you understand, before the team. But notwithstanding, he has also reinforced the fact that we cannot help outside unless we help ourselves. That is, we should be in a position to produce players that can play in at least the youngest or probably other categories of the national team, so that we showcase what we can before we go to the international. But that would not stop our chances when we have an opportunity for a club to develop a player, because developing that player will come back and the player probably will showcase for the national team. So these are some of the agendas we are pursuing, and probably much greater agendas.
And now finally, a roundup of African sports with Babukar C.
Thank you very much, Momodou Gajaga. Let me begin in Turkey, where Turkish club QSPORTS have confirmed the signing of Togo icon Emmanuel Adebayo on a 1-year deal. The former Arsenal and Real Madrid forward departed last year's Super League runners-up Istanbul Başakşehir at the end of last season by mutual consent. The Togo international went in search of a new challenge elsewhere and has now been snapped up by the Anatolian star for the next 12 months. The 35-year-old striker is well-travelled, having featured for Spanish giants Real Madrid and Premier League teams like Arsenal, Manchester City, Tottenham Hotspur and Crystal Palace over the course of his career. His latest deal takes the list of clubs he has represented in his career to 9. Elsewhere, On a relatively quiet weekend for African stars in the Spanish La Liga, Barcelona's Ansu Fati stole the headlines, becoming the second youngest player in the club's illustrious history. At the age of 16 years and 298 days, Ansu Fati became the second youngest player in Barcelona's history when he took to the field against Real Betis on Sunday night. The Guinea-Bissau-born youngster looked right at home alongside Antoine Griezmann under the Camp Nou lights. "I stayed on the pitch for a little bit after the match because I couldn't believe it," Fati admitted. "It's the happiest day of my life," said Bori Fati, Ansu's father, afterwards. Ansu Fati has been electric since his arrival at Barcelona from Sevilla and has become one of the most promising players in the club's academy. He has been a consistent starter in every age group. He has played in and has made an impact on the continental stage in the UEFA Youth League. He scored 4 goals and contributed 3 assists in the 9 games he had played in the competition last season, including 2 strikes in the semi-final as Barcelona lost out to Chelsea on penalties. Fati renewed his contract with Barcelona earlier this year, setting a new release clause of €100 million. The impact of his Blaugrana debut has been seen on social media. Fati's Instagram following went from 64,000 to 300,000 before and after the match. The Guinea Football Federation, FEGAFOOT, has placed a life ban on former Gambian coach Paul Put and a 7-year suspension on the federation's vice president Amadou Jabi. FEGAFOOT's Ethics Commission ruled that both Put and Jabi had allegedly breached the institution's code of ethics and its code of discipline. 63-year-old Paul Put was in charge of Guinea at the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations, where the Sele National exited the tournament in the round of 16. FEGAFOOT's Ethics Commission confirmed both men have also been handed hefty fines following an investigation, with Paul Put ordered to pay €100,000 while Amadou Jabi has been fined €25,000. Belgian tactician Paul Put was sacked by Guinea last month amidst an atmosphere of mistrust, according to the Guinea Football Federation. Put, in his response, said, "I did not bribe anyone and nobody corrupted me. Where are the evidence of racketeering and corruption? Bring your proofs. I will bring you all the proof of what I wrote in my report. I also explained in my report the reasons for our defeat against Algeria," said former Gambian coach Paul Put in a statement sent to the Guinea Football Federation. And finally, FIFA President Gianni Infantino, on behalf of the world's football governing body, has expressed his deepest condolences to the Ghana Football Association for the demise of the late ex-Black Star striker Manuel Junior Agogo. The FIFA president, through a letter addressed to the president of the Normalization Committee of the Ghana Football Association, also extended a heartfelt condolence to the family of Junior Agogo, friends and teammates. Agogo, who began his career at Sheffield Wednesday, played 27 times for his country and scored 12 goals. He finished his career at the Hibernian in 2012, having also had spells in the United States, Cyprus and Egypt. Agogo suffered a stroke in 2015 and struggled with his speech afterwards, telling a BBC 4 documentary in 2017 he felt anxious about his language. Back to you, Gajaga.
That's all on tonight's show. Thank you very much for watching. Keep on sporting and bye for now.